Hello everybody, it's Julia here, and the topic on Transcending Origins this week is hormone therapy. What are the pros and cons about it? And yeah, we're supposed to give our history a little bit. I started hormones about about a year and a half ago almost. I started in April of um, 2009. That was when I got on my full dose. I started going to another doctor who gave me, who was really slow, was very unhappy with him. He gave me zero point 0.5 milligrams of estrogen, that's it, at first, in pill. And then he upped it after 3 months. Oh, excuse me, upped it to 1.0 and said, "Oh well, I don't want things to go so quickly, and we don't want the body to become so to become resistant to it." And I was like, you know what? This guy's full of bullshit. So I ended up going to Dr. McGinn, who runs the Papillon Gender Wellness Center. If you don't know about her, you can check my channel, which is Julia Z12345, and I have a video of her from the Trans Health Conference. I have all I could get on camera before my camera died. But anyway, but it talks about her and the Gender Wellness Center and what she does, and she's an absolutely great advocate for the trans population. But anyway, she was great with everything, but she was expensive. That's one of the cons to hormones, is the expense. It can get very expensive with everything, especially if you decide to go forward with surgeries or laser hair removal, which the laser hair removal, yeah, I'm gonna do once I have the money for it. And yeah, the FFS, I probably will, because I got a big old schnoz. I got the brow bone, and I need stuff done. So a lot of us do look feminine from straight on, but when you see the profile, it's completely male. So that's what I want to get taken care of. But that being said, there are many more positives to hormones than negatives. The positive now for me, I am actually going to the Mazzoni Center, and you'll see actually an interview with the guy who runs the Mazzoni Center, or one of the guys who runs the Mazzoni Center, on my channel as well, from the Trans Health Conference, and talks about what they do for the community. And one of the things they do is the hormone replacement therapy, and they're great. They're relatively cheap. They're $20 for the actual visit, and they go through Strohecker's Pharmacy. It's a mail order pharmacy. They have a website at stroheckersrx.com, and I know a couple people who go through them who don't go to the excuse me, I'm just trying to adjust this so the background's not all crazy. But they go through this pharmacy and don't even go to the Mazzoni Center, and it's great. They give you my dose. What they give me is 10 milliliters of what I take, which is a 40 milligram per milliliter dose concentration of estradiol. And I take 0.25 milliliters of that per week. So that's going to last me a heck of a long time. Plus, it's cheap. They charge, I think it was $55 including shipping. So that was a great deal, and I'm quite happy with the service that I got from there. So they also It's that plus needles. I got loads and loads of needles. So I'm quite happy with what I got with them. So there are ways out there to fit it into a budget um, that don't break the bank. So if you really, really need to, just go for it. And most likely you'll be able to fit it into your budget. One pro right now is that there are more and more state Medicaids that cover it. PA is they cover SRS, but only certain levels of the healthcare coverage do. But I'm I'm looking forward to see what I get to see if it can be covered. That's a positive in this day and age. But anyway, yeah, my breasts look like huge. Anyway, it's the lighting in here. But anyway, I ended up getting on a regimen that can be expensive when you get down to it. That's definitely a negative right now for me. None of the supplements that I have to take would be covered. But I have to take an 81 milligram aspirin, which is the baby aspirin, because estrogen can cause blood clots. So you need to take that, and you also need to take a calcium and vitamin D supplement because the estrogen inhibits calcium and vitamin D absorption, and you could get osteoporosis. So you got to take the calcium and vitamin D. It's also recommended to take a daily vitamin, which is important anyway. Let's see what else. There was one other. Oh yeah. I'm also taking spironolactone, which is taking 200 milligrams of that per day, 100 at night, 100 in the morning, which is a testosterone blocker, which works, but that is covered by my insurance. I only have to pay $20 for that. And another good thing is that most of the $4 drug programs at Walmart and Target and your local supermarkets do cover Spiro in the 25 milligram form. You'll have to take, in my case, I'd have to take 8 per day, but it's worth it. If I couldn't put it through insurance, it would cost me, I think it's something like $32, which is $12 more, but at the same time, if I got the 100 milligram pills, it would cost me a heck of a lot more than that. So that's definitely a good thing. I also take finasteride. Finasteride is a DHT blocker. Now DHT, dihydrotestosterone, is what controls the hair on your head and, well, basically hair growth. But it has the opposite effect. It makes no sense, but it has the opposite effect on your head as it does on the rest of your body. So getting rid of DHT will help your hair growth on your head and inhibit hair growth everywhere else. It does a pretty good job. I have to shave maybe once every 2-3 days now, so I'm quite happy with that. But that's covered by insurance too. Now I also that's basically it. I also take an Effexor. Now, one of the negative things that I was worried about when I started hormones was that I have anxiety problems, and I take Effexor for it, and it's something that I was really, really worried about because of the fact that women are much more emotional. So, that being said, I thought maybe I'd have more anxiety, no matter what. No matter if I took kept taking the Effexor or not, my level of anxiety would just, my baseline would just be higher. And that didn't happen. It, it makes the anxiety that I have a little bit worse sometimes, but it doesn't make it happen more often, which is a good thing. Because a couple nights ago, I had a situation, just, I don't want to get into it, but where I just kept crying like anything. And before hormones, I would cry when I got into a situation like that, but not as badly, not as long. I wouldn't have been watching a movie and then something hit me and just bawl out, like that. So sometimes that's nice, sometimes it's like, what the hell? Um, Now, there are a lot of positives that come with this. Um, First off, talk about physical. Um, the um, the fat redistribution. I already had hips, but they were really bony. Now they're not as bony anymore, and I never had an ass. Now I do. It's getting there, but I also have these things. I already had an A cup before. I was diagnosed with gynecomastia, and which is a plus for somebody like me, of course, but um, gave me a head start. And so a year and a half into it, or so, or year and a third, or something, however many months it's been, I can already fill a C cup. So I'm quite happy with that. And nipple growth and all that stuff is absolutely wonderful. And you realize these these organs, what these things, mean to not just presenting in public, but but in your self image and in your body image at home. I've looked at some of the older pictures I have and realized that I look completely different, and I'm quite happy about that. Um, so I and these things, my breasts just are a signal to everybody that, yeah, I'm female. Yeah. But there are other places too where fat redistribution happens that you don't think of. Um, your face. You lose the punch that men get. Um, I still have this stuff underneath, uh, but you lose the really roundness to the bottom of your face, which I like. So I'm quite happy with that. But you also lose muscle mass. I lost a lot of muscle mass up here. I wasn't that strong, but I still had muscle mass that most men do. I lost a lot of it. Um, but anyway, mentally, um, I touched it a little bit, but I am much more in tune with everybody's emotions, everybody's feelings, and I like that. I cry much more easily. I care about people a lot more than I used to. Sometimes to a fault, because I sometimes don't care about myself, and it's it's nice to not have the sex drive that I had. I was watching porn and doing that kind of stuff every day, and that was way too much. But now I'm doing it maybe once a week. Maybe I'm talking with people, or having sex with my boyfriend or whatnot. So it's I have a sex life, but it's not anything up to like a male standard. But anyway, that's 15 minutes. That's up. So, I will talk to y'all later. See you next week.